Doc, you're on the air.
Okay, so no countdown. We're just going to jump right in, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for being on here. Anything that I say is not meant to diagnose you or replace your medical care. Check with your physicians before you accept any type of cures or remedies. So I think we're live on YouTube. I'm not sure if we're live on Facebook. We're probably not, but I'm going to have Steve work on that as we're doing this show. So I think we should just jump right in, Steve. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. We got people coming from all over the world. And first, from lovely Sweden, is Natalie. And Natalie, if you'll unmute yourself, we're going to get you on with Dr. Berg. There you go.
Hello, Dr. Berg.
Hello.
My name is Natalie, and I am a keto and intermittent fasting coach by you. After taking your course, I started my own keto journey, and I got the keto rash within a week. And I tried to endure until I couldn't sleep at all at night because of the itch. And the stress from the itch pushed me out of ketosis because I was very hungry the next day. And I have since then tried to get rid of the keto rash by taking gallbladder formula, omega-3, vitamin B2, bentonate clay, and tried with aloin black-coming oil on the rash. But nothing works. So how do I get rid of my keto rash?
You know, I missed something in the very beginning. Is this a rash that's caused by exposure to something like poison ivy, or has it just come on for no reason?
Every time I eat less carbs.
Oh, so you ate less carbs and you start getting a rash.
Yes, every time I start keto or paleo or something that I don't eat as much carbs, I get the rash.
Okay, I got it. There's a special type of bile salt that will help you. I don't know if you've tried this yet, but it's called TUDCA. Did you try that?
No, how is it spelled?
TUDCA, and you can order this online, but when you have this itching, sometimes it takes a very specific type of bile salt to help the flow of the liver so there's less histamines that are backing up. All this means is that here you switch to a low carb but higher fat diet, and there must have been some type of deficiency in bile going into this, and there's probably some sluggishness going on with the bile that goes through your ducts. So you just want to take some TUDCA, probably 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, an empty stomach, and that will clean out the pipes, allow a flow to come from your liver throughout your small intestine, and then itching will completely go away.
Okay, this is different from the gallbladder formula.
Yeah, it's different because the gallbladder formula addresses the digestion at the meals. Okay. The TUDCA is more of a in between the meals that allows the bile salt to be thinned out and kind of drain more properly, and it's very effective against these type of things that like itching and all sorts of issues that are related to bile backing up into the liver and creating or bile backing up into your blood. So yeah, I think that will handle it pretty A to B.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm glad that you're a coach and you're getting people evaluated in Sweden. That's awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much. I will try this.
Absolutely.
Hope I can order it to Sweden.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
That's super, Natalie. Good luck up there. Enjoy that beautiful place. And Dr. Berg, why don't we go on with our first quiz question of the day, and here you go.
Okay.
Is it being a little sluggish there? I tell you what, let me read it for you in the audience. What has more omega-3s, mackerel or salmon? So dig into that, folks.
Natalie should know this because she lives where they have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. So let's see what she has to say about that one as well. But yeah, so which one has more omega-3s, mackerel or salmon, wild-caught salmon?
Yeah, and by the way, Natalie, we're going to give you a chance to answer that question too. We'll see if you're as smart as our social media audience. So go ahead and dig up that answer. And Dr. Berg, let's see. Hang on just a minute. Why don't we go to our next caller? And Samantha from Alberta is with us. And Samantha, if you'd unmute yourself, you are on with Dr. Berg.
Hi, Dr. Berg. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Hi. I had a question. I was recently diagnosed with fatty liver. I gained about 80 pounds in my pregnancy after losing about 60 on keto. My doctor didn't advise it at the time to continue with the keto diet while pregnant, and I have not lost the weight yet. So anyways, I've been doing keto for about 2.5 weeks. I've lost 10 pounds. I've regulated my blood sugar, but I'm looking to, my blood pressure. But I'm looking to help my fatty liver reverse and just to get healthy again. And I'd seen on your YouTube videos that you had choline that you were recommending. I'm just wondering what kind of choline or how much should I take? When should I take it?
Right.
I'm just looking to try and help myself.
Okay, great. Are you breastfeeding now?
Nope.
Okay. So it's very interesting. This first of all, the doctors would not advise keto on pregnancy. I know where that stems from. There's one study long ago that they measured ketones in the urine of women who were going to, like when they're in labor, and they says, oh yeah, so we found that women that go through labor have high ketones. Well, that's because they're not eating right during labor, and you're gonna have ketones. And so they somehow jumped over to say, wow, that's ketoacidosis, and so it's dangerous, which is not. I mean, if you think about how many women get diabetes as they're pregnant because they're doing so many carbs, it's very, very healthy to go low carb. But anyway, the good news is that there's one study that shows that going on a ketogenic diet, a low carb diet, can get rid of 50% of your fat within 14 days off your liver, because that's the first place that the fat's going to be coming off your body is from the liver. So all you have to do is be consistent with keto long enough to completely get rid of this fat off your liver. Choline can help. There's a lot of different brands out there, and I can't tell you what brand to take, but I would take whatever is prescribed on the directions on whatever product you get, because you don't want to necessarily take high doses to try to like push the fat out. I think just a regular amount would be great, and then you can also get some bile salts. You can take that too, because both of those will speed up the process of this fat coming off the liver. And then you want to consume regular amounts of things like fermented vegetables like sauerkraut and cruciferous vegetables, because that's going to help give the fiber to the bile, which produces secondary bile salts, and that'll help you greatly in the elimination of the fat as it comes out through the body. Realize that you may have higher cholesterol, but I wouldn't be concerned, because a lot of that fat, is part of it's cholesterol. It's not going to be burned as fuel. The triglycerides are, but not the actual cholesterol. So it has to come out, and it's going to come out through your bile ducts. And I think I would just go do intermittent fasting, healthy keto, nothing other than that special. Just do it, and then give it more time, and you'll get your body back, and your liver will be happy as well.
Thank you very much for answering.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, that's great. Well, I tell you what, everyone is itchy today around the world. So relating to Natalie, Sarah from YouTube wants to know, why does CBD oil cause me to itch? Are we on to something, Doc?
Well, I think there's a lot of allergies connected to different herbs and oils of herbs and things like that. So obviously, if you itch, your body is sensitive to it. I mean, for example, there are certain herbal remedies that I take and certain essential oils that I take that I'll notice how, like, wow, that created a reaction almost like an allergy to some sort. So you're just going to have to avoid it. So realize too, if you have itching from anything that you take, as far as if it's allergy related, doing fasting, periodic prolonged fasting over time has been found to improve the immune system to the point where some people get rid of their allergies. So that's good news. You don't have to live with your allergies, but fasting can help because it strengthens the immune system.
That's fantastic. All right. So our quiz question was, what has more omega-3s, mackerel or salmon? And we're going to go ahead and consult with our expert from up north. And let's see what Natalie has to say on the subject. Natalie, what has more?
I would guess salmon, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, that was a great guess. Dr. Berg, how did Natalie do? Oh,
Natalie,
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You're close. You're close because it's in second place.
Okay, now hang on a second, Doc, because I was rude. I didn't let the audience answer. So here's what the rest of the audience said. 60% say salmon, just like Natalie. 30% say mackerel. And 10% say they're all the same. They could care less.
Yeah, well, the answer is mackerel. But they are close. They are close. I will say that. So I'm going to be doing a video on this, but mackerel has a little bit more. But I'll tell you right now, salmon is a really good source too, and so is my favorite cod liver oil. So, if you're taking anything like that, you're going to be very close and you're going to be fine. So I'm going to be doing a video on omega-3 fatty acid in relationship to what that does to insulin resistance. Because here you are maybe trying to lose weight or trying to have some type of benefit from keto, and you're doing fasting, you're doing keto, but you want to speed up the results. So you want to improve insulin or decrease insulin resistance. You can do that with omega-3 fatty acids. You can do it with vitamin D. You can do it with apple cider vinegar. You can do it with improving your sleep, decreasing your stress. So there are other things, but I'll do a video on the omega-3 fatty acids, which there's just so many interesting things connected with these omega-3 fatty acids. I've done other videos on that.
But they sure are good for you in general, huh? And I'll tell you what, Dr. Berg, you're probably itching to know who's watching today, and we've got viewers from
itching.
That's right, the UK, Canada, Sweden, who we just heard from, Jordan, Germany, Romania, Zambia, Albania, Spain, Egypt, Cyprus, Saudi Arabia, India, the Netherlands, Puerto Rico, Kenya, South Africa. We've got another couple coming to us from Johannesburg shortly, Algeria, Malaysia, Norway, France, Denmark, Chile, Grenada, Mexico, Pakistan, Abu Dhabi, Belgium, Australia, Kenya, good grief, the Philippines, New Zealand, Japan, Peru, Greece, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and all across the United States. And thank you to our breathless keyboard puncher, Terry, for cataloging all that. That's just unbelievable. And also here, let's go to social media. So Angela from YouTube, is there a specific brand of TUDCA that you recommend? You just spoke of that, Doc.
I don't have a brand. I would just go by reviews. I think they're valid most of the time. So see who has a good amount of reviews. But, sometimes people pay for reviews, and that's not okay. Especially if you read them and they're all kind of like, oh, this helped. Oh, this is great. I don't really look for those. But yeah, I don't have a specific brand for TUDCA, but there's quite a few out there. So I think they're all very, very similar. Because I will say TUDCA is synthetic, but it's one of those synthetics that I would recommend because it's actually the chemistry of bear bile, and I'd prefer it to be synthetic rather than take it from a bear, because that has created a problem long ago with bears because TUDCA was in a huge demand. But bear bile has been used for a very long time by indigenous cultures with all sorts of wild effects. So it's a fascinating compound. And if you haven't seen my video on TUDCA, check it out. It does a lot. And it's a great thing to know about, especially if you have some strange illness or symptom that you can't seem to get rid of. That's my fallback on remedy.
All right. Well, that's terrific. Well, speaking of odd things going on, this poor guy, Let from YouTube's, his feet hurt, and he's concerned that it might be your gallbladder formula. Is there any connection there, Doc?
Kind of doubt it because it doesn't cause feet pain. It actually probably relieve feet pain. You know, one thing about the gallbladder, there is so many people that have a hidden gallbladder issue. They don't know it's a problem because gallbladder's on the right side of your body. When that thing kind of gets backed up, it can put pressure on your right shoulder, your neck. It can put pressure on your scapula. It can cause fibromyalgia pain on the right side of your body. It can create all sorts of skin issues, vitamin A deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, vitamin E deficiency problems. So it can relate to a lot of things. So as far as pain goes, that's a new one to me.
All right, that's terrific. And by the way, for any Facebook users that may have come over to YouTube, we regret, but it's nice to have this redundancy. So if you ever, can't see us on one channel or the other, just skip over and we're live and ready to answer all your questions on the other. Generally, we have good luck, but today, who knows? So from YouTube, of course, P. Jun Hao, who, that sounds sort of Vietnamese perhaps, wants to know if a low-carb diet will reduce testosterone.
No, it will increase testosterone. So insulin is a dominating hormone that will suppress testosterone and other hormones as well, especially growth hormone. And testosterone follows similar pathways to the growth hormone, which is fat burning, which is anti-aging, which has to do with protein. It's an anabolic hormone. So speaking about testosterone, there are a lot of people, men and women, that are deficient in testosterone. And most of the cellular testosterone that we have in our body actually turns into estrogen. So in men and women. And so there's a little enzyme that causes us to convert over there. And certain things can trigger it, like plastics and soy. And what happens is that enzyme converts more estrogen. And if you're a man, you start having problems with loss of hair, and you lose your energy, you lose your libido, you have all sorts of issues. Women, postmenopausal, also have a lot of issues as well. And they don't really consider increasing their testosterone. So, and I wouldn't suggest do it without supervision, but you can do it just with, taking natural things like zinc, eliminating plastics from the diet, taking things like DIM, which is blocks the enzymes that are converting into more estrogen. So stay tuned for more videos on that, because that's a fascinating topic with this epidemic of testosterone deficiency.
Yeah, it's tough, no question. And it does serve the female populace too. Without testosterone, there could be no estrogen. That really is fascinating. Much, much lower amounts in the female system, but there nonetheless. Okay, let's go to another question. Doc, I'm not sure if you can see it today with your thing, so let me read it for you. What has more, sulforaphane? Did I say that right, Doc? Broccoli?
Sulforaphane, which is a phytonutrient. Yep.
Okay, and so which has more sulforaphane? I said it wrong. Broccoli or broccoli sprouts? Both very delicious. So you guys dig in on that. And this is sort of fun, putting the guests that we have in the green room on the spot to do it. So my next one's going to be Charmaine, and she's going to answer this question first, and we'll see if she's right. But in the meantime, let's go back to social media and give her time to figure that out and the audience. So let's see here. Terry, what do you have for us? Okay, Tial from YouTube, what is the best kind of zinc to take? Is there a best kind?
There's a lot of different forms. The worst kind is zinc oxide. Okay, that would be very, very bad. But I need to do a video on all the different forms of zinc, because there's some different effects that can be created. There's also a zinc. There's certain zinc that are more absorbable than others. But it's difficult to find. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a special video just on that topic. But I will say a lot of the zinc compounds out there that are good, but don't get the one that says oxide.
Okay, well, I'm sure that's good. Now, let's see. And here's something that comes up all the time, and it's personal to me. So, Anointed J, as he calls or her calls himself, from YouTube. I had a baby. Oh, well, it's a woman. I had a baby in May and have been diagnosed with gallstones. Can I take bile salts to resolve this? What to do? And just to point out, Lori, my wife, had her gallbladder moved, and it's sort of a knee-jerk thing. I think people just said, "Oh, let's get rid of it," and it did not help her. Her post-gallbladderectomy has not been fun for her, and it didn't resolve the issues that she had. It seems to have added to it. So it's always a big subject on your show, Dr. Berg. So will bile salts help resolve issues with this postpartum nice lady named Jay?
Well, good thing we have an extra organ called the gallbladder that we don't really need. That's a good thing. And I'm being very sarcastic because it's a necessary organ. If anyone ever tells you you don't need it, just ask them one question and you'll get like a deer in the headlights. They'll just look at you. They won't know how to answer it. Just ask them, what is the function of the gallbladder? And they won't know. They will not know. The gallbladder concentrates bile by up to 20 times. So you have this super concentrated bile that helps emulsify fat into fat, so you can extract more nutrients from the fat that you eat, like fat-soluble vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, and there's a lot of other fats too that are healthy. Without that bile, you can't really break those down. But one of the remedies, even medically, is using bile salts to help dissolve gallstone if they're small enough. You can definitely resolve that or dissolve it. But the question is, what causes gallstones? That is a super concentrated cholesterol with a very low amount of bile. If you have higher bile to cholesterol ratios, you don't get gallstones. So basically, gallstones come from a bile deficiency. And what creates that? High estrogen from pregnancy, high cortisol from stress, and high insulin from a high carb diet. So that just tells you doing keto is going to be good for someone with gallstones, but I would definitely take bile salts with meals. I would take them on an empty stomach and see if they can actually shrink them.
Well, that's terrific. So anyway, Lori, I'm sorry you didn't hear that before, but anyway, I'm really hopeful that our young lady Jay took that into account. Okay, so San Francisco from YouTube, I have severe GERD, and Dr. Berg, she's talking to you in the sort of third person here, recommends Betaine, hydrochloride, and apple cider vinegar. How much and how often should I take those supplements?
Well, there's one thing with Betaine hydrochloride, and there's even supplements with the apple cider vinegar powder within that product. If you have GERD, honestly, I found that you have to take a lot more than usual. So that means instead of like 1 or 2 tablets, take 5 or 6 with a meal right before you eat, especially in the beginning. Because I found that you're taking something that's not super acidic. It's a kind of a building block that turns into hydrochloric acid, betaine hydrochloride, chloride, meaning for the hydrochloric acid. So my guitar teacher said, hey, guess what? I could finally go to Five Guys, which is a burger joint, and consume all this junk food if I take 9 of these betaine hydrochloride. I said, I think you missed that lecture when I talked about that topic. But yeah, betaine, you could take more and do very well. Now, as far as apple cider vinegar, you take that as well, maybe in some water when you're eating. That will help. But yeah, you need more of those supplements to create the effect, especially in the beginning, and then play it by ear after that, because a lot of people are deficient in the hydrochloric acid, and they need that to help build that thing up.
Wow, that's fantastic. You know who I'd hate to be today, and that is Charmaine, because she's going to be on the spot and have to answer this question in front of thousands of people around the world. And the question was, what has more, can you say that word for me, sulforaphane?
Sulforaphane.
Thank you. Broccoli or or broccoli sprouts, both delicious. Nevertheless, we're going to put her on the spot here, and let me unmute her. And drum roll, please. Charmaine, spit it out. What has the most?
I've never heard of this before. I'm going to guess sprouts.
Well,
You are correct.
holy smokes.
Charmaine.
Isn't that great? Well, let's see how she did based on the audience. 95% of the audience agree with Charmaine, and 5% say broccoli, and there are just the losers for this one particular quiz, but we love them nonetheless, and maybe they'll do better next time. So why don't we just go right on to Charmaine's question, since she got it right. Otherwise, we would have simply just ejected her from the green room, but she did well.
Wow.
So go ahead.
I said that because sprouts tend to have more, nutritional values. So that was my guess.
There you go.
Charmaine, you're correct. Absolutely.
All right. Well, hi, Dr. Berg. Happy to be here. My bottom line question, although I'll give you a little background, is I'm trying to do intermittent fasting, and I'm hungry. It's just really hard. And I think it might be related to the fact that I'm becoming insulin resistant. I measured my blood sugar recently with a home test, and it was the fasting, and it was 136, which shocked me. It was 99 in January. And I did have some sudden weight gain in May that made no sense at all because I eat pretty low carb all the time. So based on your video, it looks like I may be insulin resistant, pre-diabetic. I'm not sure, but, and you said that hunger is one of the, symptoms. So
Yes.
anyway, my bottom line question is, how do I do intermittent fasting when I'm hungry? It's really hard.
You're right. Well, I want to ask you, give me an example of what you would typically eat when you eat.
Okay, well, lately I've liked using your shake, the keto shake in the morning with the wheatgrass supplement and a couple of eggs, that type of thing. So I like that because in the morning I'm kind of hungry. So I'll have that. I'll have some coffee with heavy cream. And then my dinners and lunches are protein, fat, and salads usually, just some greens.
Like what kind of protein?
Chicken with fat, usually. I like chicken thighs. Lately, I've been starting to eat more pork because it's a low insulin food. Haven't had much beef lately. So chicken, yeah. Maybe some sausage.
Mm-hmm. Any
spinach, a lot of spinach.
What's that?
Spinach. I like spinach a lot as a green. Yeah.
Okay, and how big is your salads?
Not that big.
Okay, and when you eat, do you feel that you're satisfied when you eat, or do you I'm not really, I'm full, but I'm not satisfied?
No, I feel pretty satisfied. So
Okay.
That's why I'm surprised in 2 to 3 hours where I'm just hungry again. And anyway, not starving. It's not like I'm craving food, but it's just, maybe I just need more mental, discipline on waiting to eat, but it's tough.
And then one last question about that. Is there any carbs that maybe you have occasionally when you do this?
Not really. No, I've really gotten disciplined about that.
Okay.
I use stevia in my coffee, sometimes xylitol or monk fruit, but no starches. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you're in this this mode of this transition mode that you're hungry, so you eat, and then the eating creates more hunger, and then you eat, and then that creates more hunger. So it's like I would make sure that your dinner has a bit more fat to it. Don't go crazy with too much protein. And then try to ride the wave as long as you can in the morning. Now, if you're hungry, okay, and you're not weak, go a little longer. If you're not weak, go a little longer and see if the hunger doesn't go away. Because some people think that if I'm hungry, I have to eat. Well, you have all these different things that your body's used to that you have to kind of break the habit part. But if you feel okay, like I'll get hungry around 8, but it just kind of goes away after about 30 minutes. Like, oh, that was just kind of like a hormone shift going on because I had bad insulin resistance at one time too. So
Okay.
that should go away, and you could do your coffee with the fat. But you really need to get to a point where you have no food in the morning, not a snack or anything like that. And your first meal is at noon. And then the second meal is maybe at 5. And then maybe eat then 1 to 5. That's when you're going to start to see changes with insulin resistance. The fact that your blood sugar is high does tell me that it's kind of in that pretty severe insulin resistance, pre-diabetic. So that's why it's tough right now.
Right.
So you can,
Yeah.
so you can
Because I've done intermittent fasting before. I did it last year for a while, and it was not this hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I could do it. Yeah. I could do it.
That's what you're running up against. So these other factors like the omega-3, berberine, apple cider vinegar, things, get more sleep, are all going to just help you. But you're going to, as soon as you start getting this group down, 2 meals, things will get better, and your blood sugars should start coming down. But I see what's going on. I can see. Yeah.
And really, really quick, if you could, I need to see the list that you have of foods, the insulin index for foods, because I saw your video and you said it was below, but it wasn't there. So if there's some way I can get that list, that would be fantastic.
I may have a couple of videos, and it should be in the videos as far as the insulin index. I know it's in my book in one of the chapters, I think chapter 12 or 11. But you should be able to find that either in the book or on my videos.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Sure.
Great.
That's great. Thank you so much for your double duty today, Charmaine, answering questions and asking questions. That's just fantastic.
Hey, Steve, I forgot to just talk about the sulforaphane, because probably people are going like, okay, what is sulforaphane and broccoli sprouts? Well, if you take a look at broccoli, and we take a look at the same amount, like let's say 100 grams. Broccoli has only like 44 to 171 milligrams, okay? Now, if we compare that to the sprouts, it's over 1,153 milligrams. That's 10 times. So broccoli sprouts has at least 10 times the amount of sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is one of the most powerful anti-cancer things you can consume. It's really, really good for any type of inflammatory condition. Anytime you need antioxidants, it's involved in over 200 different genes. John Hopkins University tried to get the patents on broccoli sprouts because it was so significant in anti-cancer, but then they found out they couldn't do that. I think they got sued by the sprout manufacturing companies in the Supreme Court. But the point is that these sprouts have all sorts of really cool ninja additional things that regular vegetables don't have. So you can get in a powder, more convenient. But if you're at a salad bar, start sticking the sprouts on your salad. They can help you.
Well, that's a fantastic, 10 times. That is not something I would imagine. And I do love those little things. And by the way, Doc, are frozen, is it okay to eat broccoli or those sprouts frozen like a bird's eye stuff? I mean, does that kill the nutrition, or is that okay?
No, you can do them frozen. You can do it powdered. They have like low heat freeze-dried sprouts. You can get that as well in a powder.
Oh, well, that's neat. Well, I tell you what, as I'm just picking on our audience today so much, it's fun. I don't know what that says about me, but Jenna Diamond and her husband, one of the worst things you can ask of any couple is to have them stay so close together over any period of time, and they haven't had a break at all. And so I'm going to bring them on the air with you. You guys unmuted, and you'll be able to split apart as soon as you're off the air with Dr. Berg. Welcome. And by the way, Johannesburg, South Africa, these two are from, with a beautiful baby girl. Congratulations from all of us around the world on your new child. Go ahead with Dr. Berg.
Thank you. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Dr. Berg kind of froze for a moment. He's had a little internet. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Okay, Doc, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Great, I sure can. I tell you what, we've got a couple on from Johannesburg, and this is Jenna and her husband and their little baby. Jenna, why don't we try it again, see if Dr. Berg, do you have them muted perhaps, Dr. Berg, if you can take that off? And this is the lovely couple there.
You know, it's interesting. I'm looking at anything muted. I don't see anything muted.
Hi, Dr.
You might need to translate for me, Steve. I don't know why I can't hear people.
That's all right. Okay.
Hi, Dr. Berg.
Could you hear her? That was Jenna. Okay, Jenna, ask me your question, and I'm going to translate it for our audience. For doctor.
Okay, so I was going to ask a different question, but I've changed my mind, and I think it would be better that my husband ask a question because it's specifically about him. So I'm going to let him ask you the question.
Very good. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, cool. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer 2 years ago. I went into remission. Recently, it metastasized to my liver. I'm taking all the supplements and doing all the things that Dr. Berg suggests in all his cancer videos. I just have a question regarding the fasting part, because I know that is very important when one has cancer to get rid of those tumors or at least shrink them. I am very skinny, so I want to know, I'm not sure what is the best way to go about that or how to fast so I don't disappear into the dust.
Oh, absolutely. And would you tell me the original cancer name of that diagnosis? What did you have?
Oh, it was colon cancer.
Colon cancer. Okay, Dr. Berg. So
Yeah.
you could not hear our guest. Is that right?
That's correct. I need your your translating
Very
here.
good. So our brave family, he had suffered from colon cancer several years ago. He went into remission and has obviously lost a lot of weight. And now it has metastasized to his liver. And he's very, eager, concerned that he, among other things that you recommend, to do intermittent fasting. And how should he go about that? And one of the big concerns, of course, is he has lost a great deal of weight. And of course, that's a feature of intermittent fasting. So what would you recommend for him? So just recap, has colon cancer, several years of remission, metastasized to his liver, wanting to use your recommendations to, help him in that regard.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to just tell you right now, I make no claim that, there's any type of positive benefit from this, but there is a
anti-cancer things you can.
there is an eating plan that
really good for.
that can be downloaded, and I interviewed the person who had stage 4 cancer, and his name was Guy Tannenberg, and you can search out my videos on that. And if you go to his channel, he has a download of what he ate and how much fasting he did. You can download that. It's a free download, and you can actually just see what he ate. He did a lot of fasting. I mean, he did as much as he could. The problem is, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're already thin and you're trying to fast, it's difficult, especially prolonged fasting. And this is why we're doing some research right now on mice, and so far so good. It's really looking promising, of seeing if we can actually recommend certain nutritional remedies that block a certain pathway instead of just fasting. Because here's the thing, everyone knows, or a lot of people know, that sugar feeds cancer, and I will be doing a video on that. But one of the strategies would be let's just avoid sugar. Let's do keto to kill off the cancer. Well, the problem is that the structural part of a cancer cell is made out of lipids. And so ketones can be feeding the structure of cancer to the point where it's membrane, just from the food that you can get from ketones. So now that leads us into a big problem, because now what are we going to do? We're going to avoid going in ketosis. We have to avoid sugar. We're going to avoid certain proteins. Like, what can you do? So there are certain remedies that this download paper will give you to help block the pathway for ketones. Now, the next question is, well, won't I starve my own cells from ketones? Well, your own cells can actually thrive, or at least the membrane, off of fatty acids, but cancer can't. So it's in other words, it's a little complex, but there is a way to do this that's seemed to be effective. But I would go to his site, and you can find my videos on that and see where I interviewed him. Find his site, download that eating plan, and it actually explains exactly what to do. That's what I would recommend.
Okay, Jenna, by the way, did you all hear that? Were you able to hear that through our show?
It was a bit broken up. I heard a little bit of it, but not all of it.
Okay, so I tell you, finally, Dr. Berg, can you, it was a little broken up. What was that doctor's name or person's name that you wanted them to go?
It's not a doctor. It was a person by the name of Guy, G-U-I, Tundenbaum.
Guy Tundenbaum. And
yeah, and you could just search my videos on interviews. And it's a guy who had stage 4 cancer. And now he has no more cancer.
Yeah, so search Dr. Berg's site for interviews, and one person that was terribly sick with stage 4 and now no longer has cancer. And, our hearts go out to you. We wish you all the well in your pursuit of this, and, congratulate you on your wonderful daughter that looks like she's factory fresh, not too old, just ready. And so we'd love to hear.
24 months.
Yeah, 4 months. There you go. So we'd love to hear back from the Diamonds in Johannesburg, and Godspeed on your recovery there. And we hope that you'll call us back and let us know how that went for you. So, but stay tuned on this, and we'll have another quiz question for you guys to chew on. And the quiz question is as follows. Okay, true, false. This is a true, falser. 1 in 7 teens have hypertension or elevated blood pressure. Is that true? Do 1 in 7 teens have high blood pressure? Boy, that's miserable. And I'm going to ask Dr. Berg after he answers the question, is that historically true, or is this a new trend? But I'll wait till everyone gets to that question.
Yeah, one in 7 teenagers, okay, have high blood pressure or elevated blood pressure. Is that true or false?
Got it. Okay, guys, dig into that. And let's see. Let's go back to social media and see what Terry has for us. Let's see. Okay. Subash from YouTube. I'm losing weight on keto, but when I test blood sugar, it has been gradually increasing. What is going on with Subash?
If you lower your dietary sugar and your carbs, yet your sugar is going higher, it can't be coming from the diet. It's coming from your liver. Your body is making new sugar. It's called gluconeogenesis. And so I did a video on that and what causes that. And I'll tell you what it is. It's insulin resistance. And you just have to do it longer. Do keto and intermittent fasting longer till the point where your body can lower the insulin resistance, and then that problem can go away. But watch my video on that, because I kind of go through the details. And if your blood sugar is a little high, you can always exercise a little bit more and just burn off that extra sugar. But it's not coming from the diet. It's coming from your own body. And you're making new sugars out of fat, protein, and even ketones. So it's not carbs, which is fascinating.
That's interesting. Well, our body is quite the factory. It can do all sorts of things. And I tell you what, we have consensus on this latest question. 1 in 7 teens have hypertension or elevated blood pressure. And 100% of the audience said that that's true. These teenagers are in rough shape. And Dr. Berg, I would ask, is this always the case, or is this a new trend?
This is a new trend. This is by the CDC with the new guidelines from a certain, I don't know what it's recently, but I think it was up to 2016. If I'm not, they looked at a certain period of time, this evaluation, and I'll do a video on it. But the gist of it is that more and more teenagers are developing high blood pressure. Now, Steve, this is crazy to have a teenager having high blood pressure.
No kidding.
It's out of control, and they need to get on keto. They need to take vitamin D. They need to take potassium, eat potassium foods. But I've done videos recently on teenagers and what they eat, I know this might be shocker, but they don't always eat the best foods in the world, Steve. I know that's just shocker, but they don't.
I don't believe it.
I was even a teenager before too, and I ate pretty bad too. So, living proof.
Yeah, and all the other things, as you mentioned, the phthalates, all those terrible plastics, I guess it all adds up to some pretty messy stuff. We're not where we were, in the early 60s or 50s. We have all sorts of stuff we ingest now. And
Yeah, back then when the diet was perfect. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, right.
I don't know when it's been good.
Well, I don't know, but again, when I was a kid, I'm blessed to be one of those boomers in the 50s. If you saw an overweight person, it was, you shouldn't do this, but you'd point at them because it didn't happen. You'd say, oh my gosh, I saw a fat person today, and everyone was skinny because we're all running around out sweating it off in the heat, and we didn't really eat well, frankly. I'd have peanut butter and jelly with the crust cut off and a Kool-Aid, ice cube frozen, but, we just ran all day, and any unhealthy, results from that didn't seem to show up on our bodies at that point. But a sedentary lifetime with iPhones and so on is killing us, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, so let's go into another question here. And what do excessive weeds in your garden mean? So if you got a lot of weeds in your garden, what's going on with that, audience? And Dr. Berg has a garden, so I'm sure he'll share with us what the deal is with that. And
so I think the question was, what are the benefits of weeds in your garden?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it did not read that way. We must have botched that. So anyway, what are the benefits of weeds? They're not always bad. Maybe you don't have to pull them so much, for goodness sakes, according to Dr. Berg. So dig in on that and see what weeds can do for your maters and all that stuff. Okay, so T. Lawrence on YouTube, of course, should we take medicine for shingles even if we had chickenpox? I think you should.
Well, I can't tell you to take medication or not medication. That's beyond my scope. But I will say there are some things to think about. Number one, stress induces shingles. So that's one thing. You can also, vitamin D and zinc helps to sometimes put that virus into remission, okay? And the other thing too is this product called DIM. It's an anti-estrogenic thing. It has, one of the properties it has is it helps to suppress the herpes virus. And shingles is one type of herpes. And there's other forms. So DIM could be a potential benefit to you. But yeah, I have videos on shingles. You should check them out. There's many different options there if you wanted to try something that's has less side effects.
Yep, absolutely. drberg.com, everybody. Go there. A wealth of information for all your questions. But, of course, we love having you ask them online because we can share it with the world that way. Speaking of that, Betsy from YouTube, why am I bloating while intermittent fasting? Any ideas, Doc?
Well, if you're bloating and you're not eating anything, it has to be some type of problem in your microbiome. You may want to take some good probiotics. I don't really know your history, so it's hard to evaluate that, but I'm thinking more probiotics unless you have something like SIBO, which you don't want to take that. But typically when you don't eat, you don't bloat. So there must be something else going on there that's related to your microbes. But I would need more data to really evaluate that.
Okay, interesting. Kurt from YouTube, just an interesting question. Is erythritol derived from corn?
What was that? I missed that.
Kurt from YouTube wants to know if the sweetener erythritol is derived from corn.
It can be, but you want to get a non-GMO source. So you just have to, the thing to focus on is just a non-GMO erythritol. So that way, even if it is made from corn, it's made from several things. That way it's not GMO. So the advantage of erythritol, it's 0 on the glycemic index. It doesn't, sometimes if you just take it without anything else, it has a cooling effect, which some people don't like. Like I wouldn't necessarily like it in my coffee. That's why I do xylitol. But sometimes xylitol, you have to make sure it's from birch bark and not from something else.
Interesting. Okay, well, Stanny, has been waiting patiently. She's from Montreal, and she has one fascinating question for you, Doctor. Stanny, you're on with Dr. Berg. Stanny, can you hear us?
In the comments section, Stanley says, can't hear the host and the questions.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, today is our day for little technical issues.
So if she wants to type her question, that would be great.
Yeah, Stanny. So if you can hear me, type your question into our little chat thing. And in the meantime, let's see if we can get Venkur from the UK up. Venkur, can you hear us on the show?
Yes, I do. I certainly can hear.
Okay, you can hear me though, is that right? But you can't
Yes,
hear.
that's right, Steve.
Can't hear
I
Dr.
can hear
Berg.
now.
Oh,
I can
wonderful.
hear Stanny now.
Okay, stand by, Venkur. We're going to get to you. But here is
Yeah,
Stanny.
sure.
And Stanny, go ahead with your question.
Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hello.
To the question. Thanks for having me on your show today. I do have a quick question now. For the past couple of months, I've been doing intermittent fasting and the keto. I have lost about 10 pounds, and I'm still going to lose probably for another 5 pounds. Now, I'm still having a chronic, my ankle, it's swelling, and it's been for the past couple of years, and it's on and off. Now, I've been taking omega-3, the B1, the D3, zinc, like I'm taking vitamins. I'm trying to follow the healthy keto. Now, my question here is, it's really strange. I've done also the X-rays, and they say it's on a hormonal changes, probably, but it's not confirmed. So do you might have some remedy on that? Like, do you have any feedback on why the ankle is swallowing? And
Is it the right ankle or the left ankle?
it's the right ankle.
The right ankle.
I don't have no pain. It's kind of like strange. It's on and off. It looks like it retains water, but I'm not sure what it is exactly.
Is it in the foot too, or just in the ankle?
It is in the foot a little bit too, just like going towards my foot.
Okay. And was there ever an injury in that ankle?
Yes, I did actually. It's about probably 25 years ago. That ankle was broken. Like
Okay.
a broken ankle.
So I think it's related to an earlier injury. So what I would do, I don't know, maybe you can get someone to help you. You need someone to help you on this. You could even try to find a massage therapist, but you want them to work on the opposite ankle, exactly where you fractured it, which usually ankles, you fracture the outside bone that's called the lateral malleolus. That's the fibula. Do you remember which one you broke?
I don't really remember, but I think it was outside of the bone, yes.
Yeah. So then what you do is you have the massage therapist or a friend start doing some deep massage on the exact opposite point that you broke on the left side, and really work that and up into your calf, because when you fractured your right ankle, you probably limped for a while and you set up a certain pattern how you walk, and that could still be happening right now because you're not symmetrical, and that can create a little more pressure and stress and more fluid buildup. So you want to have the person work on the left ankle. It's going to hurt, so go light.
Left ankle, or on the same ankle of the left side.
It's the opposite ankle.
Is it? Oh, wow.
Forget about the right ankle. Just ignore that. Just go right to the left ankle, work on this mirror image where you broke it, and also your left calf. Really work out the calf. It's going to be very sore because it's been compensating. And then after a couple of days of doing that, take another observation of your right ankle, and it should be smaller. So because it tends to help, working on the opposite side increases the symmetry and the circulation, and it's quite magical. So I used to do that in the clinic all the time and see amazing things that just didn't heal properly, where most people, they'll work on the side that they hurt themselves. Kind of makes it worse.
Right, that's correct. So I'm definitely going to try that. But the funny part is that this has been going on and off. Like it's been going on for like the past 2 years, I would say. I never ever had an issue before, and I'm in my early 40s. So, the doc said it's a possibility of your hormonal changes, or because now it's like chronically, it's basically I guess it's not from the food that I'm intaking because I'm trying to keep on the healthy keto. But I'm gonna try that for sure, definitely. Any vitamins you can recommend? Any supplements I should try?
Well, the best supplement is, of course, I'm not being biased by my own electrolyte because it has so much potassium that will drive out excess fluid from the body.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Excellent. Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome.
good luck with all that. Fascinating how that mirrors, and Dr. Berg's talked about that many times. Stanny, that's terrific. Now, we're going to try to see if we can get Venker in. By the way, Doc, a couple things left. We'll go a little bit over since we started a little late, and that is your upcoming videos and, the answer to this last quiz question. But I want to make sure we can try to get Venker on the air with you. Stand by 1 moment. Venker, can you hear Dr. Berg?
Hello there. Can you hear me?
He said that he has audio, has problem, host not able to hear. So I think if someone is in a different part of the world, we're having reception problems.
Hello?
Because his screen is frozen on my end.
Okay, so Venker, would you ask me your question, and I'm going to pass that on to Dr. Berg till we resolve this problem. What was your quick question, sir?
All right. Okay. I'm having heartburn and pain, and I can feel that in the throat as well. So I went to the doctor, and he said, you've got an acid reflux. And the problem aggravated over the days. Then I'm seeing Dr. Berg's videos. He recommended to have ACV and Betaine tabs, which I'm consuming, but I don't see a significant improvement. And not only that, I'm having another problem along with this is frequent sighing. And when that happens, I'm not able to complete the sighing process. And at that time, I also feeling a kind of breathing difficulties on that point when I get a sighing. And this sighing is prompting very frequently. So my question is that because of lack of any vitamins or minerals? So what is exactly happening?
Okay, well, so let me take this. So we got a couple of quick questions here. One, he's really suffering from GERD, it sounds like. So he's got, he's been taking, your suggestions and is not getting a lot of relief. And Venker, would you please tell me what that other condition is? I didn't quite understand that.
All right, the sighing, that deep breathing, the sighing, I'll be prompted to have a sigh. And so I'm getting the sighing, frequently, but I'm not able to complete it. So I'm feeling kind of breathing difficulties at the time of it prompting to deep breathe. It's called sigh.
Interesting. Well, I think he's saying sighing, Dr. Berg, meaning breathing, and he's having difficulty with breathing. And, he's using some deep breathing techniques, but that's another concern of his. So,
okay, so if you have the combination of breathing problems and GERD,
I also have,
it sounds like there could be
do you hear me?
Potentially hiatal hernia or some congestion problems with the gallbladder, which will mimic GERD because it's not acid reflux, it's bile reflux, and will create the same symptoms into the esophagus. So what I would do if I were you is I would apply it's called the liver flushing technique. And if you look at the video, liver flushing, you're actually just massaging and pressing underneath your rib cage on both sides and working that out. It's kind of like the remedy for a hiatal hernia. And it seems to create more space in there so that everything doesn't back up. It can drain properly. And the breathing is probably coming from just, you might need to increase your vegetables and decrease your fat a little bit on your keto plan. But because there's some bloating going on with the digestive organs, and that can back up underneath the rib cage and affect the breathing. And you might think it's maybe a lung problem, but it's not. So that's what I would do. If you watched my video on hiatal hernia, I actually show you how to do the technique. It's very effective.
Okay, so Venker, I tell you what, the best way for you to hear Dr. Berg's response is just watch this on YouTube in the repeat. Go to toward the end where your question was, and he did address the fact that there is probably a correlation to your breathing and your GERD or esophageal problems that can often happen. So watch that, and of course go to drberg.com for that. And Dr. Berg, your poor camera just shut off, but what we have up here on the screen is your upcoming videos. Can you see that, or would you like me to read that for the audience?
I can't see it, so you're going to have to read it, Steve.
All right, well, here we go. So why use omega-3 fatty acids for insulin resistance? Herbal remedies for sciatica? Is lead, that's horrible, in nutritional products meaningless? The best food, the best form of broccoli, I think they might know that. The benefit of alfalfa sprouts, yuck. Amazonian tribes have the healthiest arteries ever studied. Why? Do we want to know that? Cancer and sugar are best friends, and you discussed with our couple in Johannesburg, how that can be part of the issue. And do you have any other videos, upcoming videos you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, I think the most interesting one that I think people will be surprised is the lead in the nutritional products. That's going to be a shocker for a lot of people. It's fascinating data that I stumbled on that is not very much known. So stay tuned for that video for sure.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, folks, thanks for putting up with our technical issues, but we had a great show. We're so glad to hear all the questions and everyone joining us on the green room, and we'll certainly resolve that and look forward to seeing all of you next week. Do you have any closing words for our audience, Doctor?
I just want to say thank you. Appreciate all your wonderful comments, and I will definitely talk to you next week after Steve promises to debug these issues here.
Oh yeah, we got the oscilloscopes out here and probes and tongs, and we're going to get to the bottom of it right away and have a great show next week. So everybody, thanks so much, and we'll see you next Friday, same time.